movie starts with an exciting flashback showing Wallace and Gromit stopping the evil penguin Feathers McGraw. He tried to steal the famous blue diamond but was caught and locked up in a high-security zoo. In his cell, Feathers stares at a newspaper picture of Wallace and Gromit plotting his revenge on the quirky duo. In the present day, Gromit feels annoyed because Wallace keeps inventing gadgets to make life easier, but they often create more problems. While he is gardening, Wallace shows off his newest creation, a robot helper called the Nifty Odd-Jobbing Robot, or Norbot for short. He uses it to fix up Gromit's garden, but the results are messy, which frustrates him even more. He hates that his garden is destroyed and it looks artificial. At the police station, Chief Inspector McIntosh is dealing with his new and eager officer, Mukherjee. She points out weaknesses in the zoo's supposedly escape-proof cell, but he doesn't take her seriously and is more concerned about his retirement party. At the same time in the zoo, Feathers McGraw, still in his cell, watches a news report about Norbot showing how helpful it is around town. Seeing this, he hatches a plan. That night, he steals a glove from a guard and uses it, along with a robotic arm, to hack into Wallace's computer. Feathers changes Norbot's settings to evil, and Norbot begins building an army of robot helpers. The next morning, Wallace and Gromit wake up to find that Norbot has made many new robot clones. Thinking they will help the community, he sends the Norbots out to work. But instead of helping, they start stealing things from the townspeople. Mukherjee notices this and suspects a crime wave is happening. Chief Inspector, worried about his reputation, tells her to bring in Wallace as the main suspect. Meanwhile, Gromit is suspicious of the Norbots and spies on them. He discovers their evil actions but struggles to convince Wallace, who refuses to believe his robots could be bad. Things get worse when the police show up at Wallace's house and take away his inventions, believing he is responsible for the thefts. The townspeople grow angry, blaming Wallace for everything. Determined to solve the mystery, Gromit follows the Norbots on his motorcycle one night. They lead him to the zoo where he discovers that Feathers McGraw is behind the crimes. The penguin spots Gromit and orders to get rid of him. Norbot drops Gromit into a lion's cage, but in a falling accident, it resets back to his original good mode. Norbot saves Gromit from the lion just in time and gives him a strange new haircut in the process. Meanwhile, at the City Museum, McIntosh and Mukherjee prepare to showcase the blue diamond, only to discover it has been replaced with a turnip. It turns out that Feathers switched the diamond long ago before Wallace returned it to the police. Gromit races home to warn Wallace, but finds that Feathers has tied him up. He is also captured and locked in a cupboard. The penguin retrieves the real blue diamond, which Wallace had hidden in an old teapot, and escapes. Luckily, Norbot helps them break free using a leaf blower. Chase begins as Feathers flees on a narrow boat down the canal. Wallace and Gromit take McIntosh's boat to catch him, while Mukherjee and the chief follow on a bike. She finally realizes Wallace is innocent and that Feathers is the real criminal. During the chase, Wallace uses a pile of McIntosh's boots to shoot at the Norbots, resetting them to good mode one by one. Gromit jumps onto Feathers' boat, but he steers it dangerously sideways on an aqueduct, leaving Gromit hanging over the edge. Wallace, fearing for Gromit's life, begs him to give up the blue diamond to Feathers and save himself. Barely hanging, Gromit throws the diamond to Feathers, but the penguin abandons him and tries to escape. Just as he starts to fall, the good Norbots form a chain to save him. The boat crashes and explodes. Feathers, thinking he has the blue diamond, hops onto a train heading for Yorkshire. However, he realizes too late that Gromit swapped the diamond with another turnip. The real diamond is returned to the police, clearing Wallace's name and restoring his innocence. In the end, McIntosh retires, and Mukherjee is promoted, vowing to catch Feathers McGraw, who is still on the run. Wallace returns to inventing, but decides to leave some things, like showing affection for Gromit, to himself. The movie ends with Wallace and Gromit sharing a toast to another adventure well done.